Hello everyone and welcome to Stat 200. I'll be your instructor, Mr. Brian James. I teach full-time at the Pennsylvania College of Technology in the Math and Physics departments, and this is my 30th year of teaching and I still really enjoy it. This is my 5th year, I believe, of teaching Stat 200 for World Campus. And I really like the course and I appreciate the support and the infrastructure that's built into this Penn State course. Once you get into a routine with this course, you're going to find out that it is really well set up. If you follow the online notes, read the textbook, and stay on a weekly schedule, you'll be in very, very good shape. In my history of teaching this, over 70% of students get an A or B in the course. So that's a great reassurance that it's worth staying in there, and you're going to learn some statistics along the way that could be useful at a foundational level. All right, this is our homepage for the course. Okay, you'll see this every time you log in to Canvas. And our online notes sit right here. There are other ways to get to them as well, as I'll show you here in a little while. I will communicate quite often with you. One of the ways I'll communicate is with these announcements, and the last three will show up here at the top of our homepage. If for any reason you want to go back and see additional ones, you can see them on the announcements page. Okay, so this list will get longer and longer as the weeks go by when I communicate with you. On the home page, at some point you want to probably look out there to Canvas, and I have that built in here to send you notifications automatically. So anytime I post an announcement, it'll just come right to your smartphone. That's what most students prefer. All right, I'll look at the syllabus in a little bit here. Let's go to the actual modules. So this is well thought out and well built by a web designer for the Stat 200 team. We have general resources for tutor.com, Examity as our proctoring software, and just general help and support. Technology issues you can run by me, and maybe I have a quick fix, but in general you need support from the technology people for those. I'm primarily here for the statistical content. Lesson 0 is an orientation to the overview of our course. This shows you the basic makeup of what we do weekly, but you'll see that in Module 1 for a more sustainable model for the actual content. But every module has a to-do list, and you'll see in the orientation here, it'll tell us what we need to do for the orientation week, and that's very important to follow those weekly. And then we have the readings this week. The general readings are things that are orientation oriented to just get you started. So Department of Statistics page, update your Canvas profile. There's the Canvas notifications, and then the online notes 0, which again, I'll show you what's out there. That's kind of a prerequisite to just get you started. And then we use Minitab Express as our statistical software. It's now become free for Penn State students, which is great. That saves a little bit of money. And we use that weekly for our labs. We have Wiley Plus embedded in the course as our homework provider. And we also will use at times a web-based software called StatKey that is part of the textbook that we use. And here's a little guidance on how to complete assignments in Wiley Plus. I have very few problems with students starting out with any of these items. Okay, in the past, everything has gone quite well. So again, if there are any issues, run them by me, but then if we need technology support, we'll get that for you. A couple quick assignments to get us started in orientation week. This material that's not graded or anything, but we have a course expectations quiz just to make sure you understand what the course expects of you. Personal introductions are important for a connection in the course. So that discussion board will have, 8 or so prompts for you to answer about yourself so people get a sense of who's in our course. And then we have a little bit of an algebra quiz. Really the prerequisite for the course as far as getting through minimally would be just some good arithmetic skills. You're going to be able to use a TI-30 XS calculator or any calculator that you choose, but that's one of the cheaper versions. But the algebra quiz here will give you a little assessment. A little algebra 1 would certainly be beneficial. All right, and then you see a typical week. Okay, and this is due by September 1st. So you get a little longer this first week's material. But I'll show you a suggested schedule here in a moment. But there's a to-do list again, okay? The weekly discussion board, so if you have questions, you post them there, and I try to allow students to respond to each other first, and then I get involved and answer the questions to help people stay moving forward in the course, so you won't have to wait real long for feedback. The video lecture each week is just like you would see in a lecture hall in a face-to-face class. That's done by the Stat 200 director, so that is not me. This is uniform across all sections of this course. The online notes, again, just incredibly well done. Very thorough, embedded videos, embedded examples of Minitab Express, Stack Key, etc. I would really spend my time there first. So my thought after teaching this for all this time is start with the online notes, read through those thoroughly, watch the embedded videos, and then if you need additional support, read the text would certainly help for a more thorough background. And if you're one of those people who really has the time and you like that video lecture, you're talking another 45-minute or so video lecture here. But a lot of students choose not to do that, and they're just fine. We have worked examples, so you can look at old lab examples that will really help you with your own lab, okay, because they're very similar. Each week, the assignments, Wiley Plus is about 8 to 12 problems of homework each week, so that's not much at all. You can see in a moment what days are weighted in the syllabus, but those are done right out of a link here in Canvas, and I'll show you those. The weekly quiz has to be done by Tuesday night at midnight. You get 2 chances at those, and the higher is counted. I would not, some students get into a bad habit of saying, all right, I'll open quiz 1, take a look at what I need to do, and then I'll immediately go back into quiz 2. You're really causing yourself some issues on both fronts, all right? The first front is the second quiz is not exactly like the first one because it comes from a test bank that we create. Secondly, you're not learning, you're circumventing the system, right? You're really just trying to put a band-aid over it. So really try first on the first quiz a little earlier before submission, Saturday, Sunday, something like that. Get some feedback and then go ahead, fix that, remediate, and come back Tuesday and finish it. Lab 1, this will be each week just about, I think we have 12 total weeks out of 15 with labs. So that will be the lab that's constructed with Minitab. There's a lot of support up there in that orientation to show you what the lab submissions should look like, how to take screenshots, that kind of thing, so you get the best grade possible. I grade everything in the class, so there's no TA involved, so I actually will interact with all of you and make comments on both quizzes and labs. My labs, the lab comments will be more thorough, okay? So it won't just be a yes or a no or a right or wrong. I'll actually give you some feedback there. And that's the style for the entire course, okay? One thing I would say that I almost forgot is early in the course, some of these things right in here you have to follow right down through here or the next one won't open. Okay, so just make sure in orientation 0 here, this lesson 0, that you follow down through the material so you get the very next accomplishment to open. The other thing is I will open these each weekly assignment module about, I don't know, maybe a half a week early or maybe a full week early. So those of you who want to work slightly ahead, you certainly can. Okay, but that's the way that looks. And then you'll see when we have an exam week, you do not have a lesson to complete. So there's a midterm exam 1, done with Examity as a proctoring service. And they give you a practice quiz that the questions look a lot like the exams. Okay, they give you a fact sheet with all the directions and the build out and how many problems you can expect from each chapter. So just, again, this course is very well organized, very well set up. Students have a lot of success as long as they stay on schedule. Then you'll get some more material. We'll come back to midterm exam 2. You can see that that's somewhere before Thanksgiving. And then we'll finish the course with 2 weeks and a final exam that is comprehensive. Okay, so those modules are all set up for you. Very well done. I can't thank the people who designed the course enough for that. The discussion boards are just what they say. So some weeks you're actually forced to go there before you can do anything else. Other weeks it's just if you volunteer to ask a question or you need support, I will be there to help you with the other students. Wiley Plus e-textbook is what it says it is. That's the e-text, so you can get out there and do any kind of reading you want if you didn't buy a hard copy. Examity is the proctoring service, and again, you'll get a practice quiz on Examity. Many of you have now used Examity because it's being so widely bought into in all these other disciplines. A lot of institutions now won't even take a course as a transfer if it doesn't have some type of proctored exam. So the accountability and integrity of online classes is continuing to go up and up. And Stat 200's used Examity, I believe, since I started, so 4 or 5 years now. Tutor.com is an online tutoring service. Again, I would come to me first and ask questions, and then if it's an odd time of the night, you prefer to study after midnight or something and you need a little support, Tutor.com is out there for you. Grades is what it says it is, and that would be the course grade book. All right, the rest of these, I don't think you have any need to worry about. Let's open the course syllabus quickly. So here's the course syllabus, and it's HTML style. So when you go down through this, you can see my instructor information. There's a course description, some tutoring. Requiring materials is that Wiley Plus, our online system, that's built into the, you have to purchase it, as you can see, but it's built into the makeup of Stat 200 weekly, so you can just link out to the homework problems. Minitab Express would be the software now that we're going to get and use for the labs. Remember, it's not Minitab. Okay, it's Minitab Express. That's a very important distinction, and it will run on either a PC or a Mac. You do need a calculator for the course, but it's nothing fancy. So those of you from a public high school or something like that, or another class in college that have a TID4, TID3, TID9, any of those are fine, but they're probably overkill for this class. So if you need a calculator to buy, they're suggesting a TI30 XS. Here's our assignment grading and weighting. So homework 15%, quizzes 15%, labs 20%, the 2 midterm exams 30%, and then the final exam 20%. Okay. Wiley Plus assignments, you can read through that. Lab assignments, these are very important. You're going to submit those to a Dropbox as a PDF and upload those. Students, again, are very familiar with that kind of thing nowadays with all the online education that's happening. And then if you are late, we do accept them for a day or two with a 20 point per day deduction. Quizzes, like I had told you already, done by each Tuesday at midnight. You get 2 chances there. They're generally very short. I think you have a half an hour timed. Midterm and finals, those are done on Canvas as well with Examity proctoring. That is expected or explained here, the Examity sessions. In general, there are no needs for extension policies. If there are certain circumstances that I need to know about, I'll certainly look into that. But in general, there's a schedule set, and we'd like to follow that. Grading scales, the traditional Penn State scale. Technical requirements, if you haven't taken many online courses, you want to make sure that your technology is up to date. You can look at that. Academic integrity I take very seriously, and so does the college. So you want to read through this. We'll constantly be looking at Chegg and other places for posted solutions by other students, and then both you using that posted solution and the student who posted them are in trouble. So let's just not do that. Let's be adult learners and do what we're supposed to do in an individual way on all graded assessments. And they talk quite a bit about that in there. Accommodations for students with disabilities. Typically, if you're in college for a while and there is a disability present, you've already been through the process and they will acknowledge that to me so that we can give you extra test taking time or whatever you would need there. And then the other kind of ancillary things to take a look down here through, okay? Down here is the course summary as far as a schedule goes. So you can see how that goes each week, what we are covering at the bottom of that syllabus, okay? Only one other thing I'd like to point out to you before I turn you loose and wish you good luck, and that is our online notes. And again, the pertinent one for each week is embedded into your module. But I want to point out to you that at the beginning of this, there's actually a schedule suggested for you. So most of our stuff is due Tuesdays, but we're suggesting that, hey, on Wednesday, just get a start. Don't be procrastinating too long, because that ends up being not the kind of grade or understanding of material that you would like. So work through the assigned readings, start the Wiley Plus, continue to work on those. So the first 3 or so days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, try to get the assignment done. Weekend, right? Saturday, relax a little, catch up, maybe get ahead. Sunday, we should really start the lab assignment. Finish the lab assignment by Monday. Maybe take the first shot of the quiz. And then Tuesday, then take the quiz again if you need to get to the 100%, and also submit the lab experience on time. And then this starts over again on Wednesday. Okay. The bottom of this prerequisite skills page is an interesting statement that I want to point out. This is really not a mathematics course. It says while you may need to apply some elementary mathematical procedures, operations like multiplication, division, exponents, summations, the emphasis of the course is on improving statistical literacy. So it's more of a literacy class offered by the stat department. And that should make you feel comfortable if you have any apprehension about mathematics. So if you spend the time to read and understand concepts, you will typically do just fine. All right, I welcome you again to Stat 200. I wish you the best, and I'll be in touch quite frequently with you to make sure everything's going okay. Best of wishes.